it is the new year, and one of the most common questions I get is, how can I be successful with my resolutions? Well, first of all, you have to stop setting New Year's resolutions. You have to be able to pick a lifestyle. You have to be able to want something better for yourself and go forward with that throughout the year, taking steps to continually improve your health, and not just say, I'm just gonna do this diet or this thing or this fad program for a short period of time. This really has to be something that you decide you want long-term for yourself, because you've got to set your health up for success. And one of the big things I'm always saying is, what do you want your last 10 years of your life to look like? Well, if you want them to look really good and you want to be exercising and thinking well and living on your own and picking up your grandkids and doing all the fun things that help with longevity and happiness, then you've got to now start setting up the next 10 years of your life. So I have a few key points for you to think about as we go into this new year. Most people are doing detoxes or wanting to change their health, or there's a lot of this like clean living, healthy eating plans that people are jumping on. I'm doing Detox with the Doc in a couple of weeks, which is a 10-day coaching session with me, 10 days in a private group, helping you get your life to where you want it to be and setting up those basic foundations for you. So the first thing is, on any plan, what you have to do is you've got to get your thoughts in check. So are you ready to do this? Have you figured out why you want to do this? Have you asked yourself, if I don't do this, what's going to happen? So your thoughts have to be right. Your thoughts have to be in alignment with the thing that you're going to do. And the thoughts have to be in alignment with the benefit that you're going to receive from it. So do you want better health more than you want Big Macs or cake or cookies or whatever your thing is? So the mindset has to be there. And I promise you, when you start getting your mindset right and you start thinking about the things that truly matter, then you will automatically be able to pass by the bag of chips. You don't need all that junk food. So get your mind right. Think about, why should I do this? Why shouldn't I do this? What will happen if I don't do this? But what will happen if I do? So start with the mind. The second thing is your caffeine intake. I know for me personally, I start to take in a little too much caffeine. You got the dog down here, and yeah, as soon as the camera goes on, he decides he wants to start scratching or drinking water, or knocking the, waiting for him to knock the camera here. So, oh, okay, he's just walking away. There we go. Okay, so your caffeine intake. So I'm super looking forward to doing 10 days of detox, because I have been taking in way too much caffeine. I know I have. I have been getting good sleep. The last week I haven't. And so there's always a correlation. When I don't get good quality sleep, I go for more caffeine. And I think that's really common with so many people. So, you should be trying to scale yourself down on your caffeine intake to at least 1 6 to 8 ounce cup per day. Okay. So, that's not 1 cup of coffee. It's literally like 1 cup of coffee. Okay. So how big is your cup of coffee? Bring that down. And then you can supplement that with some herbal tea. I love green tea. I love actually jasmine green tea is one of my favorites. I love hickory nut tea, which is really nice because it also, you get the fats from the hickory nuts. So you could just buy some maybe pecans at the store, unless you know somebody where you can get wild sourced hickory nuts, and you just throw the cracked nuts into a pot, boil them, and it just makes for a beautiful tea. A lot of nutrients in there. Yeah, he's deciding to play. Okay, so find a tea, some kind of a hot beverage that gives you that lift in the morning. That's really what we're looking for. But also, too much caffeine, it's going to drain out your adrenal glands, which we're relying on to give us energy. And it also affects sleep. So if you have caffeine, if you have a lot of caffeine, if you have caffeine past 12 noon, it can typically affect your sleep. Caffeine will stay in your system for at least 10 to 12 hours. So consider that when you're having caffeinated beverages. I'm somebody who I can't really have caffeine past 12 noon. My dad, he would drink a cup of coffee and he would go to sleep like that. So some people can really process caffeine a lot easier than others. But what it does, even if you can fall asleep, we know that it actually disrupts your sleep cycles. So quality sleep is really, really important, and caffeine will affect that whether you can fall asleep with it or not. The third thing is to clean out your pantry. Really important to go through and look at what do you have in there that's full of sugar, processed ingredients, what kinds of, chips, cookies, crackers, ice cream in the freezer, what are the processed foods that need to just get pitched. It's okay. Take a garbage bag and just start dumping. And also, it's gonna look really cool because your pantry is gonna look super clean. So think about what can you clean out. You clean out the pantry and then you go shopping. But you wanna create a list when you go shopping and stay on the perimeter of the store, because you want really mostly fresh fruits and vegetables, high quality meats and fish, and you really want to avoid those aisles, because the aisles is where the trap comes in. That's where the cookies, cakes, crackers, and all of that junk food lives. And when you go shopping, do not go hungry. We all know what happens when we go shopping hungry. We end up buying things that are indulgent because we just want some food and we want some calories. So make that list, go shopping, keep it fresh and clean, shop the aisles. You could go into the freezer aisle if you're looking for frozen individual chicken breasts, or if you need frozen fruits or frozen vegetables. I buy frozen cranberries for my smoothies, but you could do some frozen fruit for things like that. So make sure you're keeping that list so you don't stray from the list. The other thing, then when you come home, meal prep is super important. I love meal prepping on Sundays. So oftentimes I'll buy a whole roasted chicken from the store, and I come home and I dismantle the whole thing and I throw it into a bag, a container, and I put it in the freezer. And I keep that here in my office so that when I come here, for lunches, I pull a little bit out, I heat it up, and I put that on my salads. So it makes it really easy. You could do this at home too. So keeping that fresh roasted chicken, or if you just have chicken breast, you could roast a whole pan of chicken breast, which I've often done as well, like throw it on the grill, throw it in my cast iron skillet, cook that up, and then you could chop it into chunks. So now it's just easily accessible. So when you meal prep, think about prepping for a multiple of days. So if you do soups, stews, or again, crock pot meals or Instapot meals, keep them clean, just your high quality meat, fish, chicken, beans, legumes, and fruits and vegetables, or not fruits, but vegetables in there. When I make soups, my whole stock pot is full of celery, carrots, onions, garlic, shallots, and I mean, it's like loaded. And then I always often wonder, I'm like, oh my gosh, do I have enough beans to fill this? But it comes out amazing because it's just full of beautiful fresh vegetables, and then it cooks down with the beans, and maybe I'll throw some chicken in there. So I make a big stock pot. I'll eat that for a couple of days, throw the rest in the freezer, and now I've got a meal for later. So meal prep is really important because it also helps keep you from temptation. And so leftovers are going to be a key to this. Now, my brother is like, I hate leftovers. That's all mom fed us was leftovers. But for me, as a single mom, I'm telling you, it is a lifesaver, and it'll be a lifesaver for you too. The last thing is, I want you to recognize that perfection doesn't exist. So let's stop trying to be perfect. And perfection, or striving for perfection, stops people from taking action. It literally paralyzes people. And that's a big reason that we don't step into our health and we don't step into what we deserve, because we have it in our head that it's got to be perfect or it's nothing. Listen, I promise you, done is better than perfect. Just get it done. Just start somewhere. If all you need to do is start increasing the vegetables in your diet because you're like, I can't give up caffeine, well, then just start doing that. And then we can start working on the caffeine. Start one layer at a time. Some people are like, they just want to shake the trees, turn the life upside down, and just start and wipe out everything and start over. That's a whole different personality, and that might not be you. But if you need to take smaller steps, that's okay too. But regardless of where and how you start, just understand that parties are gonna come up, dinners with friends, people are gonna stop over, you're gonna have, maybe you're gonna get into a mood where you're like, oh my gosh, I just need some comfort food, and that's okay. But just keep in mind that when that happens, it's not failure. More days of success with a couple of days of falling off the track is not failure. You've succeeded. You succeeded by taking more days piling on and helping your health more than you have taking other days that have destroyed your health. So keep that in mind. It is not perfect. Take action. I would say, be like Sally, like my mom. She just took action on helping us get well and building a foundation for us because she knew that our foundation as kids needed to be much stronger than it was. And, I've talked to parents about this and they say, oh, my kids are so picky and my kids won't eat a thing and my kids won't do this and my kids, I'm cooking 4 different meals. Well, listen, my brother was hyperactive and my mom knew that she needed to get the sugar and the processed foods out of the house. And I was 8 years old, maybe 9, 7, I don't even really remember. But the bottom line was, I didn't have a choice. She just did it. And if I wanted to eat, I had to eat what she cooked. And she cooked healthy all the time. So this isn't about like accommodating your kids. You have a responsibility to turn them into healthy adults. And so not giving them cookies, crackers, junk food, mac and cheese at every meal, that's not depriving them of being kids. That's depriving them of having a healthy adulthood. So keep that in mind. None of this is gonna look perfect, but it's okay. Start somewhere. And it will be a little bit of a challenge with your kids, but you've got to start instilling good habits in them and take them to the grocery store, get them to help you pick out the foods, because when they start to take ownership, they'll want to get in the kitchen and start cooking with you. And it's really the best way to get them involved and to get them connected to the lessons that you're trying to build for them to turn them into healthy adults. So I hope that was helpful. Please leave a comment below. Let me know your thoughts. And as always, I appreciate your love and support. Please share this page and I appreciate you being here. We'll see you on the next one.